Hello, Hacksters! Welcome to Tuesday. I'm extremely excited to introduce today's Hackster Café guest. We have Arvind, who is a multi-time Hackster contest winner, including our Smart Citizen contest with Seed Studio a while back. And I'm really excited to hear about how you've been using those prizes. So good morning, slash night, Arvind. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking, Alex. How are you? How are all? I hope all the audience are also doing good.
I'm splendid, especially because I got all these questions to dig into. So, first off, I can't help noticing that you are a bio-mechatronics engineer by training. And could you tell us a little bit
Yes.
about what that focus is and what kinds of things
Okay.
that it lets you do?
So basically, it's mechatronics, but then based upon my where I'm applying it, it became biomechatronics. So biomechatronics essentially means I am integrating mechanical, electronics, and computer science. In glorified name, it becomes robotics. So during my master's program at IT Delhi, I've been working upon exoskeletons, neuroprocesses, etc. Mostly in the field of biology, and hence it became biomechatronics.
Wow. Tell us a little bit more about the exoskeletons.
So exoskeletons is essentially sort of an we have skeletons inside, right? Inside our
Mm-hmm.
body. So if there is some structural entity outside our body, it's an exoskeleton. These days, we use an exoskeleton to provide extra strength to our body, right? So it can be there are two versions. You can either have the powered version. There's one famous movie by Tom Cruise also, right? That is essentially an exoskeleton. We don't work like that. We just work in a way for people with disabilities, how we can help them move a little bit for people who are completely bedridden. So we aim the exoskeleton with that purpose in mind.
Wonderful. Uh, Did you have okay, so one thing that I noticed with your project is besides I'm going to ask you a lot about the aesthetics of your projects because that's something that you seem to have a huge focus on. But also, what did you name? Did you create an exoskeleton at all? And did you have a name for it?
We know we did not. It was actually a sponsored project
Hmm,
by uh, another company, and they gave the project to our university. So we did that.
cool. You've done a ton
Name
of
no,
different. Sorry?
name no. In fact, I'm very much bad at naming stuff.
Oh, I disagree. I think you got some cute names for your projects, but could you tell us? So this is a sort of a bit further in the past, I think. This is like 10 years ago. Could you tell
Correct.
us about this project? Because alongside design, there's also a huge aspect of engineering that is repair, which I think is an excellent thing to focus on in these days.
Sure. So this was again another project we received at IIT Delhi, and this was at a building where the actual president of India is housed, right?
Wow.
So there is a clock tower which was installed by the British people. It's more than 100 years old, and that the makers of the clock are no longer active. And say they asked us if we could fix that. And so what we went inside and saw is that we noticed that it was there were two clocks. The one was entirely mechanical, which we had no problem fixing it, and we were sort of from the mechanical department. Then the other one was quite interesting. It was very advanced for that age. It was an electromechanical clock where the pendulum, right? You have the pendulum clock,
Uh-huh.
and usually after some time the pendulum do stop moving.
Right.
But there they had a very ingenious method to have two electromagnets to keep
Ah,
the pendulum
yes.
swinging forever.
Makes sense.
But then, after years and years of improper maintenance, it became the electromagnetic wires frayed out and no longer working. It was very hard, so we decided to make it take a notch up, and we made a clock based upon GPS there.
Ah. And what kind of electronic internals did you use for that?
If you don't mind, I can share my screen for that.
Sure. Let me bring
Okay.
that back up. Ah, I think that it removed it for some reason.
Yeah.
Yay! This is what we get when we try to do fancy things. There we go. Woo!
So Basically, this is the clock top face on the left hand side. Then we had the clock internals, the four gears, which would basically output the movement of the dial on all the four sides of the tower.
Wow.
And then what we did was we had a sort of a UV sensor, I'm sorry, an infrared sensor on each of the hands,
Mm.
connected inside also. And then we used a beagle bone black along with the GPS, and it will get the clock, and based upon its rotation it would see how long it has rotated for, and is it time in sync with the GPS, etc. So essentially we made a system which would keep the time on always. So would be instances where the power would be lost. So this was supposed to be running on power, but whenever
Ah.
during security sweeps they used to turn off the power, then the clock will stop. But then this method would understand that the power is lost, the dial is not in sync. It would advance it automatically when the power returns.
That makes sense. I was wondering why you would incorporate GPS for something that stays in the same place all the time, and that kind of helps explain it, where it's like detecting
Yeah.
its. Makes sense. Um, Very cool. So I noticed in the article it mentions like cobwebs up in the tower, and I feel like with
Yeah.
repair, this is something that comes up a lot. Like a lot of the repair work has to do with like dirty stuff and cleaning things and like going in dirty places and stuff. What was the experience like? Because you weren't able to dismantle the clocks, right? So,
No, absolutely not. So it is a protected monument as per the Architectural Society of India. So we could do very bare minimal changes to it. That is why we had to retrofit it.
mm,
So the originals were untouched, but we just added on some extra parts to keep it running.
makes sense. And I imagine that with the second one, where they already had the electromagnets, those were not embedded in the clock itself. It was like an external addition. Do you know, like, what year those were added? And you're sort of working with multiple generations of.
No, unfortunately, we were not able to get that information. So this is the tower which has the electromagnet in it. The other one was pure mechanical, and that was just we just knew what the gears needs to be fixed, so we just fixed that gear, and it was all working.
Cool. Well, I've asked you a lot about this project that's like 10 years old, and I know that like it's someone else's work to start with, but I do find it fascinating. So thanks for answering those questions. Um, let's take a look at some of your more current work, which inspired Ginger to suggest you as a guest. So for one, let's just dig in right away to this Breathe Safe project. One thing that I think, by the way, is really cool about your projects is that you incorporate humor into these, into your write up. So it's not just a dry write up. On this one, which was your first Hackster project, you're like,
Yeah.
this is my first project, so here's a meme. And then this one over here, which is your Breathe Safe project, which we'll go over in just a second. But you're like, I like running, but not running away, please. So good. Uh, so could you tell us a little bit about this project?
So I was actually looking at learning Mestastic after some time. So and then this challenge came up correctly on my doorstep. So the idea was I was into running, and unfortunately, Delhi is one of the place where you have one of the most polluted city in the world, and I'm
Right.
into running. So I wanted to use some way to actually understand where I am and what is the air quality in this location, and if I could share it with other people, then that
Oh, yeah.
I can make a hotspot of which places to avoid.
That makes sense.
So that was the idea which it brought up. But then the first work that needs to be done was to actually make the custom library to incorporate the Sensorion 6X series of the air quality sensor into the Mestastic, the Smart Citizen project.
Mm.
Now that again became a little bit challenge for me because that would be the first time where I would be making a library for Arduino right from scratch. But I was able to complete that. But
Wow.
then the next step would be to integrate that into the Sensorion Smart Citizens library in their format. So
Right.
that took me a little time. And again, this was the first open source project which I would be contributing to. So I had to make sure that I did not screw up.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of pressure.
It was
Uh,
fun, not pressure, but I don't want,
awesome.
it's like the first date. You don't want to mess it up.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I've never done an Arduino library, and I've been using those things for probably almost 20 years now. No, 15. Anyway, that's so cool though. Um, and integrating with it with a pre-existing library also seems like such an interesting challenge. So, with your biomechatronics work, you are used to designing things that integrate with the body. Now, when it comes to an enclosure like this, what are the considerations that you bring to the project?
So the main thing is where is it going to be used and how the people are going to interact with it. So in this case, although this was not the final design which I intended to be worn on the board, this was meant for me to transport this device without a breadboard, etc., wherever I'm moving, and then work remote from there. That
Oh,
was the whole
yes.
intention of putting this particular chassis. But yes, the point is you need to understand how this device is going to be used, where it is used, how do people want to interact with this device. So it's on that basis I designed its casing for it.
Very cool. And what do you use to fabricate your cases? I see a 3D printer behind you. What kind of a 3D
Yes,
printer is that? And do you like have a preference around 3D printing versus laser cutting versus like other
I
methods for?
use a mix.
Mm-hmm.
Now, thankfully, maybe around 2 kilometers away from me, I have a fab lab. So
Mm-hmm.
I have the laser cutter there. Laser cutter, CNC machining, etc. all happens there. And for all quick prototyping, I use my 3D printer.
Now, you mentioned a Fab Lab. So, as part of your award for winning this contest, you got both a trip to Maker Faire Shenzhen, and I'd love to hear about whether you did that and how it went, as well as a scholarship to the Fab Lab Academy. Could you tell us a little bit about that scholarship and the academy?
So this was at this will be held at the Fab Lab Barcelona. So
Mm-hmm.
I would get 50 percentage off on the courses. So I am yet to decide on whether when I'll be going there. So I'm completing my master's thesis work
Oh, wow.
by end of this year. So only after that I'll be going there.
Makes sense. You got a lot going on, and you're still finding time to win contests and everything. That's very impressive. Uh,
Yeah,
so, just so that people are aware, we've actually talked to the Smart Citizen crew previously on Hackster Cafe, and it's a really cool project. Actually,
yeah.
in your own words, what is this the Smart Citizen project? Just to remind people.
It's essentially a project where people can contribute to a large data set of uh, what is happening in terms of the community, in terms of maybe weather, it could be air quality, etc. So people should know that what is in your locality and at the same time contribute to it. You can say, in other words, a huge open source data set of the local weather slash air quality. That is what this would be giving. And then
But
people can make informed decision about that, when to step out, maybe when to avoid, maybe a different route which they can use. That I is what I see as the goal of this project.
cool. And I've got one over here that is one of the sort of base units, but I always think that it's most interesting to see like how people adapt these things and how they fit them into their own use cases. And it's just really what the whole open source community is about at the end of the day. Uh, so speaking of design, oh, you know what? Let's have a look at really quickly. We mentioned a couple of your projects already, but this one I think is also really interesting. This Aura Alert system, which is very new, it looks like. Could you tell us a little bit about this project? Because you've got some cool enclosures and designs for this one as well.
Yeah. So this was a project at the Element 14 community. The idea is Worth Electronics, they would be sponsoring some LEDs, and we had to come up with some innovative ideas for it. So I've been again, if you notice, I do work with something which is for disabled people.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I found was people with hearing impairment, they do have difficulty in understanding certain sounds which happen, right? There is hearing aid, etc., but they don't wear it always. So I wanted some way to convert the sound in their home to a visual alert, and that was all what the project about. So there would be an edge impulse model running on an ESP32S3, and the moment it receives that, it will just light up based upon what sound it is detecting. Oh,
These are
by the way, I
gorgeous.
won second prize for this couple of days ago.
Nice.
The result got came up.
Ah, congratulations.
Thank you.
I like how you mentioned some of your design inspirations on here. Like some people will recognize an inspiration from the Nanoleaf and from the Amazon Echo Dot, but at the same time, you've brought a lot of your own touches to these, like integrating these
Correct.
buttons in a way that's beautiful. Uh, do you think that this like affects your ability to win contests when you show up with something that's clearly sort of well thought out and sort of designed into a whole lifestyle?
Definitely. Aesthetics does matter. But I rather did not think this from the point of aesthetics, but I mean, sorry, point of winning this thing, but rather from the point of whether that aesthetics would be useful or acceptable by the user.
Yes. Oh, that's so important, especially when working with disadvantaged communities and making accessible technology to actually think of the needs of the
Yeah.
user. Um, yeah, so what kinds of adaptations did you make to make it as user friendly as possible then?
So again, this was kept in mind that it has to be as simple as possible. So minimum number of buttons, no no screens, etc., for them to get lost in. A very simple
Mm,
system. Just the sounds will become converted to light. That would be the first thing I had. And then also, I did not want to make it also like something which looks, away from their home decor. I wanted to keep it also something which just feels nice in their home. And in terms of accessibility, the main thing here is the visibility of the device. As I said before, if it is going to be used by people with hearing impairment, they should be alerted by the uh, intensity of the color and wherever
oh,
in the
yes.
room. So even if it's kept on a long hallway, it should be visible from the side. So in terms of accessibility, that is what I was looking for. Any angle, it should be visible.
Awesome. That makes a ton of sense. And have you these look like renders? Have you fabricated any of these, and have you tested them in your own life?
Yeah, we fabricated all the different versions, but the render did not. I made some changes after the render. That
Ooh.
render, unfortunately, was from Gemini. So what I did was just a moment. I'll just show you.
Oh yeah.
So I suck at rendering aspect, but I do things like this.
Oh yeah. This is my favorite way to see designs. Honestly,
Yeah.
this is so
So
good.
I said to Gemini, "Hey, here's a picture. Can you please draw a render out of this?" So all the three pictures which you saw was render from Gemini.
It's kind of cool that you can like provide it with your rough sketch and get a render out of that.
Yeah,
It sort of
I
keeps
was
the human creativity
I
in the loop. Please go on.
sorry. I
Oh
was
no.
like never thought this was possible. So I was shocked. Oh my god, it looked beautiful.
That's really cool. So what other tools do you use in your daily practice? You've got 3D printers, you've got laser cutters. What other kinds of things do you use for fabricating? Obviously, you do PCB design, and I'm really curious about some of the updates that you made there. Uh,
Yeah.
like diagnosing problems, and boy, were there a couple of them, uh, which is hilarious. But yeah, uh, any other favorite tools that you sort of like reach for every time?
Vernier caliper. I'm in love with my
Mm,
vernier caliper, you can say,
awesome.
right? So that has been my indispensable tool to do design the casing, to make sure that I measure the electronics correctly, to make sure the placement is correct. That is one. And The next best thing I would say would be yeah, my macro pad, which I use to switch between my tools
Oh,
on
did
the
you create
computer.
the macro pad or is it one that you bought?
Yes. No, I created one. So I think that
Oh,
so
sorry.
one story which I do want to say is during my masters, I was majorly working with high power electronics like
Uh-huh.
motor controllers. So we would purchase motors from Maxon, like that. I was never into low power electronics at all. So, and I used to only be bothered with about making sure I control the motors correctly. I never bothered into how is the electronics controlling the motor properly. So that was the level I was working with. But then I realized I also need to do. But then I was so away from my basics, I decided to get a refresher. And everybody recommended that Practical Electronics for Inventors is a good book to refresh yourself.
Oh.
And in India, it was quite expensive.
Ah,
So I
yes.
shot a mail to the author himself, and he donated me a book.
No way!
Yeah,
That's awesome. Shout out
the
to
only
Paul. Who's that? Paul
Paul
Skills?
Schurz
Simon
and
Monk?
Simon Monk. So it was Simon Monk who sent it across.
Cool. Oh, I just found one online apparently. I just which looks like it's on a Duke webpage. But anyway, just trying to
I'm
pull up
old
the actual
school. I
page for it.
prefer
Where is it?
book.
Yeah, that makes sense. Here we go. Here's like an actual page for it. That's a good recommendation because there's a few classics that I've seen out there, but this looks like it's very current. I admire your use of calipers. I'm terrible. I just use like literally this for most of my stuff,
Hmm.
but I'm not doing anything that's too precise. It's just like, okay, I like sort of eyeball what size it is, and then I'm like,
Ah,
okay, if I'm doing like a case, I'll add like half a millimeter on each side, and like it'll be fine. And then like, you know, I always print on like the fastest speed so that like because I'm impatient, so I'm like, I'll just redo it if not. But then you do sometimes waste something. But after a while, you kind of get a sense for it. I don't know. Uh, but calipers are definitely a better choice.
so I, after my bachelor's in engineering, I was working at the factory. So
Uh-huh.
during that time, I had to use vernier caliper, and since then, it just got baked right into me that measurement go for vernier caliper. Don't use anything.
That makes total sense. What about at the Fab Lab? Are there any tools? Wait, oh wait. You mentioned your macro pad. Is there a chance that you have it? Can you show us at all?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
this was the first version I used.
Oh,
The first
cool.
version. This was entirely makeup based. I mean, I just
Wow.
3D printed and glued on a couple of development boards.
That's got a great aesthetic, though. I love the numpad on there.
Yeah. So it started off with the fact that I had tons and tons of photos. I mean, like literally, maybe 1 month I would end up in getting 3,000 photos, and I wanted to make sure I segregate them into the right folder. So this would help
Right.
me, scroll between them. I sort of reuse the dial here, and then using the number, I can segregate into the folders I wanted. So there is this open source software called Digicam, and this paired together, it helped me out. But then again, I wanted to make it look better. So oops, I dropped the wheel again, and I
Ooh.
made this.
And what is that part below the screen there? Is that another dial?
Yeah, this is another dial. This would select what mode it wants to go. Maybe am I segregating photos, or am I working with SolidWorks? I can change the format.
Tell us about your logo. I've seen this on a few of your projects. Yeah.
Yeah. So my name is Arvind Suresh Ambalapura, ASA, and I used to do trekking. I used to climb the not the Everest, but smaller hills
Wow.
of Himalayas. So I was very much interested in that. So I put A and SA.
Oh, that's so good. I didn't even notice that before. That's so good. Oh man,
So that became sort of my logo.
so good. You bring this gorgeous design sensibility to so much that you do, and it really is cool to see because you're really putting the A in STEAM with the arts in the STEM, uh, which especially coming from completely an engineering training, I think is awesome. So, what kinds of things do you think have influenced your aesthetic sense? You mentioned the Nanoleaf and the Amazon Echo Dot, but are there other, like especially like earlier on in your life, what kind of inspired you to put these sort of like design elements into your creations?
So I was always interested. Hey, thank you so much. Uh, it just came out of a reaction. I'm sorry if that was wrong.
No, yeah.
So, so during my masters again, there was this program of masters in design, and at that time, you would a mechanical engineer would be paired with a design engineer to work out certain problems together, and that's the way I started interested in design. So at their, I used to pour over their library to see the different design inspirations, etc. Lots of them. I really can't name anyone. It's been quite so old, but then tons and tons of designs have gone through. I specifically liked how Sony specifically designed their products. So if that would be the one thing which I would keep remembering always.
Awesome. Yeah, and by the way, sorry for throwing you off there. Please feel free to respond to the comments. I didn't expect this to cover up half your face, but it's just so cool to see people getting
Oh,
excited.
okay.
By the way, MakerBlock is going to be on Hackster Cafe later on. We're figuring out still when to schedule them, but maybe January. I'm thinking maybe, but everyone be sure to follow up to see when they're going to be on. We just get so many cool people on here, and I gotta thank Ginger for sending you my way. So, um,
Hey,
back to design stuff. You've mentioned this halo effect in both this and the Aura alert system. So you've got this kind of halo going on with this Connect 4 project as well. Could you tell us a bit about this project?
so the Connect 4. So I have a friend, Sangeeta, and we used to play this Connect 4 as a point to get things done. Maybe play as a bet. You do this, maybe we'll do this, join the gym, play a round of badminton, things like that. That's how it started off with. And we used to have a small board game cafe nearby. That's where I used to play. But
Oh.
then I also wanted to make sure, okay, we are having a sort of a disagreement. Let's settle this with Connect 4 and
That's so
something
wholesome.
like that. And but then we are away from the cafe. I wanted a way to play it out, and that's why I decided to make this Connect 4 PCB.
Cool. And so do you usually start off with a sketch kind of like this?
Always,
Gorgeous. And then you're mentioning the halo effect here. This seems to be one of your sort of favorite effects, which I agree, it does look
yeah.
great in this project. So why did you choose
Thank you.
an ESP32 for this?
At that time, I was wanted to connect it to the internet. I was planning to make it run on MQTT so that I can play it at my home, and maybe she can play it at her home. That's how it started up. So I wanted to some way to connect to ESP, and
Ah,
that came out handy.
that's cool. So, yeah, I just lost my train of thought because I was looking at the pretty diagram. I'm sorry, but I also got stuck on this uh, amusing concept of making the loser of the first game pay for the shipping to India with the PCBs. Oh man, that is huge. I've actually just been using PCBWay to get some things fabricated as well, and oh man, uh, getting getting PCBs fabricated, especially at this scale, like such a sort of large one here, I can see how that'd be a challenge. Oh, check this out though. It looks so good.
Yeah, it came out good. I was a little bit scared initially because when the initial preview did not have those holes, but then thankfully I messaged them and they said, "Don't worry, it is there."
Oh, good. Yeah, sometimes it's a little hard to tell from the previews, like whether it's gonna incorporate all the
Yeah,
things. I just recently learned like the names that they have for the fabrication layers. when they're doing their engineering check, they'll like send it back and be like, "Hey, this layer has like a thing on it," and they're completely different names compared to what I have in KiCad. I don't know about
Yeah,
what you use. Actually, what are you using?
KiCad,
KiCad,
KiCad.
yeah, or KiCad. You mentioned SolidWorks as well, and I'm always curious what tools people are using behind the scenes. But yeah, they have completely different names for the layers, so it can be a little stressful. But it's nice also
Yeah.
that they give you like these engineering checks so that you can make sure that it's actually gonna, if you do pay that $115 for shipping, then you're gonna get the thing that you actually want and need. Uh, yeah.
So
So let's see. Oh, I remember what it was before. I love that having two connected ones, you could play remotely as well. So you have this sort of dare aspect to your games as well, or like settling bets and stuff. What kinds of
yeah,
consequences are there if you lose one of your games?
for example, she doesn't want to. She doesn't know swimming, and I've been asking her to take swimming classes. So I was like,
Ah,
firstly, if you lose, we should go and try take a swim. At least just go and get into the water. That
that's
would
so
be one of the bet.
that's such a good bet. That's like a life
Uh,
improving kind of bet. I love it.
and then there would be the usual punishments such as doing X number of push-ups, things like that in the gym.
That really sounds like it would actually make someone's life better, which is nice to hear about with vets. So, did you end up going to Maker Faire Shenzhen? I remember you saying that like you've got so much going on with your
Yeah,
schoolwork and all, and your other work going on.
unfortunately not.
Maybe in the future, I'd love
Yeah,
to see your work in real life because even this macro pad that you designed just for like utility, I think is really fun to look at, and has some cool stuff going on with it. Do you have any plans for the next version of your macro pad?
yeah. I am planning to make it wireless, and also I want to split up. So as I said before, this dial was meant to be used for scrolling through the photos.
Hmm.
And I find that I'm not using the entire keypad. I think I overdid it. Maybe I want to reduce the number of keys and I want to make it wireless.
Awesome. And in your Aura Alert one, I pulled this up earlier but didn't really get to dig in. You mentioned some updates to that one that you would need to make based on like corrections to the PCB and stuff. Obviously, we see this bright purple bodge wire, which is a classic. What other kinds of modifications do you think you'll do to this project?
So it is already there. You can see on the left hand side, you can see part 5 is there. If you could just click that,
Oh,
the
here.
left hand side does link. Yeah.
Ah, you've already got a post about it.
Yeah.
Cool. And just to show people, here's a previous version in that page we were just looking at. We got this, you can see an earlier version of the PCBs, three different ones actually, at least three, I don't know. Um, but
The video
then,
is also there of it working.
ooh, cool. Let's have a look. This is so good. Yeah, so you've got wall mounted versions where you mentioned that you made it visible from all angles so that it would be functional as a home device. And then also you've got a handheld device, as you mentioned here. Could you
Yep.
walk us through some of the design considerations here?
Okay. So I was firstly for wall mounted. The concept was the wall mounted device will be listening for the sounds, and maybe through a network of multiple devices, it would alert the person who's holding maybe carrying this in their pocket. It will vibrate and then also give a visual alert that this sound has been detected in their home. Thank you again. Unfortunately, something's wrong with my. It's not able to connect to the YouTube account that I'm not able to respond to the. Uh,
That's
uh,
all right.
yeah,
Sometimes we have issues with that, and but it's honestly kind of better if we just like look at it through here because otherwise, I've got a pretty decent connection and I still have problems with like
yeah.
streaming multiple places at once. Yeah, I've got an incredibly simple PCB and I already had to do a bodge wire on here. So having something that's like a full-blown product and only one big bodge wire on there, I congratulate you. What is your testing process like? Do you have like a formal setup since I'm not trained as an engineer, so my QA processes are a bit random. And I'm wondering if you have like recommendations for me as someone who hasn't ever learned like a proper process for testing.
So many of my circuits I've built from over time. For example, if I want to go for lipo battery charging, I would just keep the MCP 73831, and over time I built a tried and tested collection of my circuits. So each time I need not do the repeated testing. The unit testing I never do, and I will do only as an integrated test. And I have my oscilloscope, which sort of died during my oral art project. And apparently, the winner gets an oscilloscope. So
Oh yeah.
oscilloscope is definitely a tool I would use. And if when I'm making the custom library, then I really needed the logic analyzer.
Mm.
Again, I have a daily logic analyzer which I am using for the last 8 9 years now.
Mm. Well.
So tool, if you ask me what tip I could provide is, build a circuit from scratch, test them unit wise, keep a trusted list of circuit, and that would build on. Makes
Awesome.
your next project much more easier.
Makes
I
sense.
think I have the developer of Teensy in our.
Oh yes, we
Okay.
got Paul on here.
Oh, hey, hey, hey! The
Good to
name
see you, Paul, as
the
always.
name just popped up quickly.
Uh, incredible boards, especially for like audio
Yeah.
and QuickTime processing and doing lots of stuff in parallel, but especially for audio, of course. Have you used Teensys for any particular projects?
Oh yeah, I have multiple projects. That's one. So whenever I realize that I don't know how much CPU I would need, right? Teensy is the go-to.
Awesome. Yeah, especially the
Maybe I'll
bigger
just show
ones.
you something.
Oh, cool. Yes.
So this is my development board set. So I have many.
Love this.
So I have like list of the
Oh
boards which
yeah.
I tried. And there we have Teensy.
So good. You have a better storage method than I do, which is just sort of put them in a big box together with that. Look at the layers! Oh, this is so good! Is that anti-ESD foam or is it regular
No,
foam?
it's a regular phone.
Oh, I'm calling you out! Yeah. Oh, good stuff. Yeah, teensies are
I
great.
felt sad when I lost one of my the longer TNC 3.7. I forgot the number, but then when I lost that, I felt a little bit sad.
Oh yeah, the 4 and the 4.1, especially with their like micro SD card options. We've got. I'll just show these real. Wait, the 4 is small. I'm mixing
The
up my
longer one.
versions, but the 4.1 is like the big long one, right? With the extra.
Yeah, yeah, this
Yeah, there we
one.
go.
This one I lost one, and that was like, oh god. And I bought it at the moment it came out, and then I was like, God.
They're so good. Let's see. Questions. Oh, yes. So when you're designing for something that has to interact with the body, I imagine that there's extra considerations in terms of like durability and like water resistance and stuff like that, especially if it's designed for going outside, which this one isn't so much. This is for mostly indoor use. Am I right? Or would this go with someone like out into the world to get alerted about different types of noises. So
I'm
like
sorry. I think
indoor.
your voice faded a little bit. If you could
Oh no,
repeat that again.
sorry. I was wondering for this one, um, is this designed mostly for indoor use or for out in the world? And if so, are there extra like considerations in terms of durability that you have made for like water resistance or just being resistant to shock and other damage?
No, I have not put any of this consideration into this design. The timeline was quite small, and designing three different devices
Yeah.
just took the kick out of me. So did not consider much. I just found some way to pack it together. I'll be
Well,
honest.
clearly it was a good choice because you won second prize, and it's better to do, something well than try to do more things and like not do them as well. Plus, like, didn't you you also made a charger? Like you did plenty of things on here, so I'm excited to see what you would do in the future with
Yeah.
this project. But look at how pretty. Ah, very cool. Uh, Popping the magic smoke, a classic. Let's see. Okay, so other questions I had for you. All right, so Fab Labs. How did you get involved with Fab Labs? You mentioned that there's one that you visit near you that has a laser cutter. When did you become aware of this set series of groups that are, like, they have a global network of Fab Labs, including like everywhere from India to Bali and like South America and listing random different sizes of
Yeah.
place. Sorry, but anyway, uh, yeah. How did you find out about
So
these?
that one was quite plain simple. Google Maps helped me. I
Awesome.
was looking for a CNC cutter, and then all of a sudden it showed
Ah,
me Fab Lab just around my house. Like, okay, am I dreaming? There is a Fab Lab right next to me that is like the maker space dream. So
solid.
I was like praying. I mean, there are times when I got sort of bamboozled by Google Maps that it
Yeah.
would take me to a place and it's closed. It's not no longer there. I was praying, God, please let this Fab Lab be actually not be closed, and it turned out good. So now I became of a frequent visitor there.
Solid. And uh, for your personal lab, is there sort of a dream tool that you would get, like a next thing to upgrade your home uh, development space?
I really want a really good hot air soldering gun. That is what I'm
Oh,
planning.
yeah. Do you have your eye on a particular hot air station?
I do, but sadly it's out of my budget.
Well, you never know. What is the one that you're looking at that would be your favorite?
The Hacko one, they have.
Ah.
Again, that was something which Hacko devices are the one I used in my university, and I got so sort of loved that.
Oh,
The
yeah.
feel of it.
Is it let me see if we can find it. I'm not gonna spend too much time trying to find the exact one, but let me know.
Yeah,
Is this the one?
something
That
like
is
that.
very pretty.
And then there is this Omnivice by Hacko
Oh
again.
yeah.
That is another brilliant thing which I just love to have. Again, too expensive for home use.
Yeah, the Omnivice is very good. Where is
So when
somewhere
I built
around
that
here?
Connect for PCB, it was quite big, and the
Mm-hmm.
usual PCB holders did not accommodate that. So that's when I
Yeah.
remembered Omnimise would have been perfect for it.
Have you seen the PC Byte devices where obviously the Omnivice is, why is it having trouble finding this? Here we go. Um, Omnivice, where PC Byte is like
Yeah,
sort of
that
like
one.
multiple smaller ones. This is a beautiful design object though. Ugh, like it even kind of looks like a car shifting
Yeah,
mechanism there. Like,
so
yeah,
smooth,
it's so pretty.
but it's very heavy also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for holding like a large PCB in place, it's definitely got like the heft to hold it down. And then the sort of like soft grippy surfaces to like not mar anything, which when you do care about the aesthetics, not to harp on that too much, but like personally, I like really like using tools that sort of both um, fulfill their purpose and look nice. So
Mhm,
when
yeah.
you're making aesthetically beautiful objects, it's good to have tools that don't interfere with that. Um, Mumble, mumble, mumble. So, have you been looking at when you look at your work and the kinds of technological developments or new materials or new tools that might be coming out or new workflows, um, is there something in particular that you think will level up your work in the next 5 years that you're very excited about?
I still feel that my sketching and designing, the aesthetics is still not good enough. So I want to level up on that aspect, and maybe a little bit more on my PCB designs also.
Solid. What kinds of skills do you think you need to add in terms of PCB design?
The main thing is I don't know. Somewhere I somebody told me that you should go manual routing rather than go
Oh,
for automated routing. So I mean, a lot of time I'm wasting on manual routing. So I just want to know how to get it done properly. Is there any nice techniques? Is there any hacks to get it done? That's one thing which I want to learn.
that's a good point. Are there any creators that you think do a good job of this? For example, I'm aware of how like some companies share their designs as open source. Like Adafruit has a ton of their designs open
Correct.
source, and I think SparkFun has some as well that you can kind of like look at how they did it, but they don't give you necessarily like tips on how to do it. Anywhere that you look?
So there is this channel called Phil's Lab from YouTube, and
Mm.
he's one of the one who I regularly look up. I mean, I go through his videos quite a lot. In fact, there are times where I went through his the same video maybe thrice or four times.
Oh, cool. Any favorite ones?
Buck booster, designing a buck booster.
Solid. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go
that one.
subscribe so that I can check out some of these in the future. Check them out. Oh, look at this. It's really in depth.
And even
Ooh.
using this guy during my test PCB for oral alert, I just randomly put in an PCB antenna design and it worked out well.
Oh yeah, PCB antenna design would be interesting. And guitar stuff. I feel like, electronics people and guitar people have a lot of overlap because people are always trying to make their own like custom guitar pedals. Uh, do you do any music, by the way?
Uh, no, I
You've got
just
enough on your
bang the
plate
door
already. You're doing
sometimes.
like four things. What? Sorry.
I do bang the door sometimes, knock it.
Well, I'll have to check out this KiCad 9 one. I finally got my setup fixed and have been designing some new stuff, but I know that I'm not like, actually following good design protocols. But, for basic stuff, my PCBs work, but it would definitely help to learn some, well, besides like general PCB design tips and tricks, but also like design guidelines. Let's see. So you've also got this adapter on here, which I haven't brought up yet because it's a more sort of utilitarian project. But I am
Yeah,
curious about your design process for this one, and how you've crammed a lot of stuff onto this tiny board here. And there's like random questions I have, like why didn't you populate the JST connector on here? Is that just because it's a render and they didn't have that part, or like,
yeah.
yeah, just to walk us through this a little bit if you would.
There are times which I actually do sort of freelance work also to get some extra money alongside my studies.
Mm.
And the client wanted something to be made using a STM32. So I did have an STM32 V3, but then he had only V2. So then I really like the small compact clip-on system for V3, which uses 1.27 headers, and he wanted 1. I mean, he wanted only 2.54.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. So there was this compatibility issue, right? And I really can't use this on any general project. It's too small. So
Right.
I wanted a way to convert this into the 2.54 headers. And at the same time, this does not supply with the VCC.
Mm.
So I always had to run an extra USB cable to power the device separately. And that became a problem during travel because I don't want to carry that much amount of cable also. But then thought, okay, let me have this adapter board which I can power using LiPo also. So
Good
this would
stuff.
directly give the 3.3 volt out and I can charge it up. I mean, I can program the device.
Cool. And you've got a great write-up for this one as well, with like all the design considerations and all the different features, like you mentioned, converting the two different pitch headers. Oh, it seems like a little bit of a nightmare, but also, yeah. So I can see where manually routing all of this would be a bit of a challenge. But yeah, always useful to have sort of
I'll be honest here,
functional
I
skills on
cheated a
there.
couple of times by using the auto rotor.
Mm-hmm.
When I get
Understandable.
frustrated,
It looks so good, and it's like very small and very professional. How did it work out using this?
it was a lifesaver to me.
Mm.
Many times I had only one USB cable and this worked. Just add on a battery, it would work brilliantly.
Excellent. And you've got all your code up on GitHub. Love it. Incredibly open source here. As with the Fab Labs, it's always cool to see people like participating in and like contributing back to the global sort of store of knowledge and all the tools that we share. Let's see. Um, oh, my brain is losing some questions, but I've got a big list here. So let's see. Exosuits, there's always so much. If you were to design, okay, so going back into the past, you worked a little bit with exoskeletons, or you were familiar
Hmm.
with their design. If you were going to design your own exoskeleton for you to use, what kinds of features would you add onto it, and what would it incorporate?
Frankly, carry more grocery bags.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. I am with you. I would buy one of those.
So I go for monthly shopping and then bring a whole and stock the kitchen. So that and there will be so many number of bags which I just don't want to carry. So yeah, exoskeleton, I would want to carry a lot of these bags.
Do you incorporate, would you incorporate any like neural connections into there since you mentioned that that can be part of biomechatronics is sort of like neural connected devices?
We had sort of a there was this attempt to use conscious EEG
Uh-huh.
into controlling the exoskeleton, and that sort of worked in the lab where I had a controlled environment. Right, in India it's humid, it's sweaty, sometimes it gets sweaty, and the moment it gets sweaty, the surface electrodes you keep on your head, they start
Mm.
cross talking, and then the AI would just go haywire. So that was the only and the last attempt we did with doing something to connect with neurological. We did try with EMG, little better result, but again, sweat always makes it quite troublesome.
Yeah, it makes sense. Good for connection with the electrodes on your skin, like just connecting, like sensing. But then when you actually have enough of a an issue where they like start cross talking, that seems like a
Yeah.
giant giant problem. uh, I've done a little bit with EEG, but also it tends to be a bit noisy and like difficult to isolate the signal and the noise as well. Uh, Really fascinating though, and kind of magical when it works. But you can get magical effects in other ways as well. Uh, what about affordability in your project? So, you have a ton of. I just wanted to actually zoom in on this really quick because it's cool looking. But anyway, so when it comes to assistive devices, obviously there's an issue when someone is going to be using something in their everyday life, and uh, I'm not sure about where you live, but in the U.S. we have a system where some of these things can be very, very expensive and difficult to replace and difficult to repair. So, do you bring in affordability in your projects, or is that sort of a consideration for after you've already created this and sort of finished, got a prototype working of the project?
So, if during my professional work, right,
Mm-hmm.
in those times, I would always, I would always do what is we call as primary research. We would understand who this
Ah.
product is gonna be designed for. Are we gonna design it for maybe people who are financially weak, or we want it to be a premium product to be given to the a little more economically power packed people? So based upon that, we would talk to the users as like, what is your problem about using a device? What improvements can I make in that? How can I make your pain? I mean, when I mean pain, I mean usage pain, etc. less. So that time itself, we would consider that. But if it's going to be my personal project and all, I would just make it quickly to give them the idea of, hey, this is how it is gonna be. Now you tell me, do you want it to make it cheaper, or you want it to be make it more feature packed?
Mm.
There's a small uh, difference in the way I would work, depending on am I doing it for formal work or am I doing it my personal thing.
That makes so much sense. Just sort of taking into account the needs of the user. And we've only got a little time left, but I want to make sure that we look at some of your demo videos, like you mentioned. So here we have an example of you getting the LEDs to blink like stars, which, oh, it's so pretty. Like, even coming back to the affordability aspect, there's little touches that you can add to make it beautiful and make it feel like a higher quality experience just by adding like a beautiful little animation on the LED. It's so, oh,
Yeah.
it's gorgeous. Okay. Settle down, Alex. But then you've got this demo video of the project working as well.
Yep.
And
I have an updated casing for that also, by the way.
oh, it looks really good already.
So this was laser cut at the Fab Lab. Again, for to make sure I submit it on time. But then afterwards, after a lot of tweaking my 3D printer, it turned out the PCB was the exact size as that of my work
Ooh.
3D printable area. So it was quite, what do you say, quite difficult to get a 3D printed one. But then after
Mm,
a lot of tweaks, managed to get one.
cool. Have you tested this with your partner with actually using these
Oh
for
yeah,
bets and things?
yep.
And how did it go?
I was accused of coding it in a way that I would win more.
Not sure how you would even do that because like would it like give you little hints or something? Because you're definitely pressing it with your finger in a very clear way
No,
to like make the moves. I suspect this was a joke. Uh,
now
good stuff
I mean that was just out of maybe frustration you can say. But
because you were
then
winning.
now you give a think. I have an idea. Maybe when I give to the other person, change the combination a little bit, and then all of a sudden a new light pops up, which would give the last one. I mean, maybe three in a row is given, and now I just need to press the fourth one.
Ah, yes. Have you got any kind of like startup or ending animation when it like when the device wakes up or shuts down?
I did not think that is a really good idea. Which I should do
Well, you've
that.
got
There is a test sequence which I made to make sure all the LEDs are working. There have been times when I killed so many of those LEDs during the soldering process.
oh, I believe it.
So I made a snake type of a pattern to in all three colors, so I'll know that okay. There would be times where the green light would not work. In fact, the video has one of that the light
Mm.
is not working. But yeah,
Oh
if you
no.
don't mind, can I just go back and show my screen?
Oh yes.
So this would be the newer version of it.
Cool. Love to see an update. I was gonna say, like, you've already got so many projects going on and so many cool
Yeah.
features in each of them that I feel like upgrading them in addition is a lot to take
So
on. But at the same time, like, you are using this in your everyday life, which I think is awesome.
yeah, that is something I want to make things only I would use.
Hmm.
If not, it becomes a one-time fun experience. So is my screen visible now?
Yes. And you can
Yeah.
click the little minimize button if you want to, but no worries. Oh, this is so cool. So on the back of it, do you show the back of it lighting up? Because you mentioned that there's like a square light on
Yeah,
the
it will
back.
it will come up.
Oh, cool. Yes. Haha.
So this would
Oh, cool. Oh, that's really cool.
so this is the test sequence actually.
Ha! That would be a great startup animation. It's very cute. In my head, I hear it going like as it like bubbles up to the top.
Ha. So then there is another project which I made. This is again another sponsored project.
Hmm.
So this would be for people, kids with autism. They wanted like a sound device which would, calm them down.
Mm.
So I made this sort of like with light
Ooh.
shows, etc. So you scan a particular card which will tell them what type of songs they want to play right? The olden days you would have at a diner, you would put in the money and then select a slot to
Yeah,
select, right? So I
jukebox
want to
style.
recreate that. Yeah. So instead of that, swipe an RFID card, it would blink, full timer is full, and then slowly LED lights will show up at the bottom, and it will slowly decrease. That time is now, about to end,
Oh, nice.
like that.
And on the front, are those arcade buttons that we can see from the back, or are
Yep,
those
those are arcade buttons from Adafruit.
love arcade buttons?
So I
So
wanted
good.
to give them an idea, like how do you feel after the session? Good, bad, neutral type.
Ah, solid.
So
All
yeah,
right, let me pull up this other demo video that you have just to make sure that we show all of these. This is the one from the audio project. And you've got two different names for this. There's Aura Alert and Oralis, which I think they're both good. Personally like
I said
Oralis. Are they?
I warned you. I'm very bad at naming, right? So when the project, I mean, this competition started, I gave it Aura Alert,
Hmm.
and then as the project went by, I came up with the word Oralis.
I think Oralis is great because it's sort of like a shortened version of Aurora Borealis, and then also it's got the little
Exactly.
audio. It makes great sense. That's a great name. So I disagree. You're not bad at naming things.
That
What's the
was
wireless charging?
by absolute stroke of luck I came up with this name Oralis.
Uh-huh. It's super good. Oh.
So that's the carry-on device also, and the last one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go away. Is this doing wireless charging or is this plugged in some way?
It is not wireless charging. It has a pogo pin based charging.
Aha, cool. So it still is like completely enclosed.
Correct.
Makes sense. I mean, that's how most smartwatches and like my headphones and stuff work. Well, we are almost out of time here, so I'd better wrap up. But I feel like there's so many more things that I want to dig into here, and uh, as well as like what other stuff that you just have around your office that like you're like, oh, I have this macro pad as well. Oh, I have this other thing
Yeah.
as well. Like anything that we missed, like that you have just like sitting around that you haven't shown us.
Um, then all comes to boring stuff of my inventory.
Fair.
I guess that's about it.
What you got?
Yeah. Nothing, sadly.
Ah, so it goes. Well, next time you
The
come
other
on, we'll
thing
have to
is,
talk about your next
I'm a
project.
big fan of fountain pen, so yeah, I made a custom
Me
tray.
too. You did you say you made a custom pen?
No, 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 custom
Okay.
tray for my pens.
Oh yeah, I see Lamy Safaris in there.
Ah, my favorite.
Those are so good. Uh, my favorite is. Do I have it around here? I think I might have put it back somewhere else. Uh, they discontinued my favorite one, which is the Pilot Petite one, a little like tiny
Okay.
plastic one, but it's so cute and they last forever. So I guess I'll just have to treat them well. Where'd it go? Anyway, doesn't matter. Uh, Upvote for the fountain pens. That's always awesome. Anyway,
Yeah.
what are you thinking about building next? Any ideas?
So there's this video by Salim, another YouTube creator. Salim, I always forget his last name. I'm really sorry, Salim, if you're seeing this.
Oh,
Salim Zayoli.
is it High Tech Salim Electronic?
No, no, no. Um,
Let's
Salim.
see.
He made this. Okay, it is Salim Benzoziane.
Oh, I shall try and find that.
Maybe you can search for They Never Shipped. So I built my own focus dial from scratch.
A style from scratch. That's an amazing video. Oh, here we go. Found it. Okay. Oh, these are
Yep, that guy.
fancy videos. Look at all these cool
Yeah,
things
I
he's
like
got
his.
around.
I would say I would
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
look onto his
Ooh.
channel for the design inspiration.
Let's see if the animations and stuff. Ah, haha, hands-on. Beautiful. Cool. So, you're inspired by this person, or you're thinking about building something based on their
Yeah,
work?
so I prefer this Pomodoro technique of working.
Oh, yes.
So is this visible?
Oh,
So I have this M5C stick, which would
mm-hmm.
tell me how much second is work.
Makes sense.
Uh, so I really like this, but then I liked his idea of this dial, and I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
integrate this into that design. So that would be something which I'm planning to do next.
Have you seen the M5 dial device since you're
I
into
do
M5 stack?
I do have that actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a good starting point, but are you thinking about doing something more from scratch?
Yeah. So here it's the entire thing is the screen, but I wanted the LED around it.
Right.
So this is the TFT screen, so the entire screen would be visible. I did not want that. So I wanted a very gentle, again, hello, you caught me again.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I did not think of this myself. I did not consciously realize that I'm doing much of a Halo design. But yeah, thank you for pointing that out.
It's a very
So
classy design. Like, it's elegant, it's sort of, like you say, gentle, subtle, lots of good little effects you can do with those that look a little more polished than like just an LED stick. So I'm right there with you.
again, this entire screen would light up, and I did not like that. So I wanted only the I wanted to move with OLED with the lights around it.
Makes sense. Well, thank you for taking the time to show me one extra thing before we wrapped up because I can never just stop on time. Anyway, thank you so much, Arvind, for joining us.
It
I
was a pleasure talking with you, Alex. And yes, I hope I was able to give something out to the community through this video.
Well, you've definitely helped me figure out how to fix up my testing process a little bit. So thanks for that. Thank you,
Yeah,
everyone, for joining us. Be sure to tune in the future for Maker Block. Also, we've got Shruk Elatar coming up, who's going to be telling us some really cool stuff, especially relating to like certifications and testing and stuff like that. So hopefully, I'll learn a little bit more as well. But thank you, especially for joining us in the middle of the night. This has just been delightful, and good luck with your future work. And hack on.
thank you. Thank you. See you.